Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive and frankly pretty well hidden risk that's lurking inside enterprise IT right now. Look, as developers race to integrate large language models into everyday workflows, a terrifying blind spot is opening up. I mean, imagine wiring a supercomputer directly into your mainframe, but just completely forgetting to install the brakes. We are basically handing over the keys to the kingdom without the proper guardrails. So today, we're going to break down exactly why this is happening, what it actually looks like, and most importantly, how we can secure it.
So let's kick this off by challenging how things are currently set up. I want you to just imagine the fallout of giving an autonomous AI unrestricted cluster admin privileges to make completely unverified changes to your network. We're talking about literal God mode API keys here. It's kind of like handing a brilliant but entirely blindfolded driver the keys to a Ferrari and just telling them, hey, go navigate rush hour traffic. It is a recipe for absolute chaos. When an AI has this level of access, it doesn't just read your data. It can execute commands, it can change configurations, and it can alter your infrastructure entirely blindly. Honestly, just a simple misunderstanding of a prompt by an LLM could result in a catastrophic, unapproved network change. Now, to understand how AI is getting this kind of access in the first place, we have to define the underlying engine, the Model Context Protocol, or MCP for short. MCP is essentially this standardized bridge that connects AI models directly to your enterprise infrastructure, your web APIs, and your local file systems. And developers are rapidly adopting MCP, and for good reason. It allows for intelligent reasoning over live proprietary data. But while it's incredibly useful for building AI tools quickly, it opens up a massive security blind spot if it isn't strictly governed. Think of MCP as this high-speed bridge. On one side, you've got your AI applications, and on the other side, you have your really complex web APIs and core data sources like your vSphere or Cisco environments. It's an amazingly powerful connection. But using standard access keys right here on the bridge, that is incredibly dangerous. Why? Well, because standard keys are built for deterministic software. They are not built for probabilistic AI. They are just way too broad, and they completely lack the contextual awareness that you actually need to constrain a large language model. Which brings us to a really critical crossroads. On the one hand, we have standard API keys. They're broad, they're blind, and they are practically unrestricted once authenticated. But on the other hand, we have what we desperately need right now, zero trust AI. This means access that is granular, policy-driven, and fully audited. We absolutely have to move away from these standard keys that grant God mode access. Instead, we need to embrace a zero-trust operational narrative where the AI has to literally prove its right to take any action every single time. Because if you don't secure that MCP bridge with zero-trust principles, you get a severe case of what we call shadow AI. And we aren't just talking about employees using unauthorized chatbots here. No, this is about unmonitored AI agents running amok inside your systems with cluster admin privileges. They're out there creating unverified autonomous infrastructure changes that human operators simply cannot track. For compliance officers and security teams, this is a literal nightmare. I mean, how do you even audit a black box where infrastructure changes just happen? You end up with a system where nobody can prove exactly why a change occurred or who even authorized it in the first place. The source material really hits the nail on the head here. It says, giving AI the keys to the kingdom incurs the same security risks as godlike privileges. And you know, we learned this lesson back in the 2000s with human users, right? You just don't give everyone domain admin rights. The exact same logic applies to AI. The model might be smart and it might be highly capable, but without strict guardrails, it is a massive, totally unacceptable liability for your infrastructure. Okay, so what's the solution? The crucial point is that the answer is not to just rip AI out of your environment entirely. The efficiency gains are honestly just too valuable to lose. Instead, we need a governed control plane. Enter Operator Plus. It sits perfectly positioned right between human intent and your complex infrastructure. By wrapping the AI in this really secure governance layer, you get to keep all the incredible reasoning capabilities of the large language model while ensuring it can only interact with your trusted data through a highly secure, heavily controlled channel. Operator Plus is actually built on a few core principles that fundamentally fix this whole shadow AI problem. First up, grounded intelligence. Agents absolutely must be connected to live, trusted data. Second, policy before action. This one is huge. Operator Plus enforces strict rules before any action is even attempted. And third, humans remain accountable. The AI doesn't take the blame if something goes wrong. The system ensures a human is always supervising, approving, and managing the actual risk. Now, you might be wondering, how do we actually solve that broad access key problem on a technical level? Well, the answer is Dynamic Attribute-Based Access Control, or ABAC. When a user asks the AI to perform a task, the system doesn't just blindly use a key. Instead, it takes the user, the target resource, and the requested action, and it routes all of them through a really strict policy engine to make a real-time, fully governed decision. Let's actually break down what that ABAC policy engine is checking behind the scenes. Instead of just asking, hey, does this key work? It evaluates multiple specific parameters instantly. It's checking the user identity, the user's mapped role within the organization, the environment scope, meaning, wait, are we in the lab or are we in production right now? And the explicitly allowed actions for that specific tool. The AI isn't even allowed to view a resource, let alone change it, unless all of these attributes align perfectly with your strict security policies. And here is the ultimate safeguard against shadow AI. It really boils down to one incredibly powerful mandate. AI proposes, human approves. Operator Plus acts as this strict gateway where the AI is entirely restricted to just recommending next steps. It can analyze all the data, it can correlate the logs, and it can build the absolute perfect remediation plan, but it can never ever execute a right action blindly. The autonomy is completely broken by a mandatory human checkpoint. In practice, this creates a seamlessly governed workflow. Step 1, the AI proposes an action based on its analysis. Step 2, the policy engine instantly checks all those ABAC constraints we just talked about. Step 3, a human operator reviews the proposed action and actually approves it. And finally, Step 4, safe execution. This isn't about slowing down AI at all. It's really about elevating humans from being manual tool operators who just dig through logs all day to being high-level supervisors of intent and risk. The absolute linchpin of this entire operation is the governance gate. While the AI can propose an action, it hits a hard, immovable stop right at the strict human-in-the-loop anchor. It explicitly blocks any autonomous infrastructure right actions from passing through to the safe execution phase without those policy checks and without human sign-off. It guarantees that those scary black box automation mistakes simply cannot happen on your network. And because we have that strict governance gate in place, we also get something that compliance teams absolutely love: 100% audit-ready logs. Literally every single step of the process is recorded. The exact prompt given to the AI, the specific tool calls made over the MCP bridge, the policy engine's decisions, the human approvals, and the final outcomes. Everything. Security teams retain total visibility, which means you entirely eliminate the compliance blind spots that usually come with shadow AI. Which brings us perfectly to the core philosophy of Operator Plus. And honestly, it summarizes everything we've covered today. AI-powered clarity, human-powered action. You get to leverage the incredible speed, the correlation, and the clarity of large language models to figure out exactly what is happening in your infrastructure. But the final, deliberate action, the actual changes being made to your environment, well, that is always governed, audited, and human-powered. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought to consider about your own environments today. As AI integrates deeper and deeper into enterprise IT, ask yourself, are you building a system for governed, secure AI operations? Or are you just building a very smart time bomb armed with God mode API keys? The blind spot is very real, but the good news is the guardrails are available. Thank you so much for joining this explainer, and hey, stay secure out there.